So before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So, let's get into it. Alright, so it is fight week, and we have a big one coming up this weekend when Vasyl Lomachenko takes on Devin "The Dream" Haney. This fight will be a highly anticipated bout in the lightweight division. This will be for the undisputed claim in the lightweight division, so I'm very excited. This is a fight boxing fans have begged for years, and now it's finally happening. So in this video, I'm just going to give y'all my preview and prediction on how I think this fight will go, and give a little bit of tips on what I think each fighter should do to be able to win. And yeah, let's get straight into the video. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video. Today, we're doing boxing. Just another fight to add to a torrent 135-pound division. The lightweights have been on fire so far this year. Of course, the big fight between Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis just a month ago. And now we get this fight in the next big fight between Vasyl Lomachenko and Devin Haney. Some would argue that this fight should have happened years earlier. But you know how boxing is. We all know the story about what happened with that fight, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. But we all know how this business is, and it's better late than never. So I'm excited for this fight. I'm pretty sure everybody else is too. Two of the best going at it right now. So let's get straight into the fighter profile, shall we? So starting with the challenger, and he's not really used to being the challenger per se, but Vasyl Lomachenko is back, and he will be fighting the Dream Devin Haney. Let's go into a little bit about Loma. Of course, 35 years old, from the Ukraine. He is a southpaw fighter. He is 5'7", and he has a 65-inch reach. Vasyl Lomachenko in his career has 17 wins, 2 losses, no draws, and 11 big wins by way of knockout. Vasyl Lomachenko was arguably the pound-for-pound #1 fighter a few years ago. And all you heard about was Vasyl Lomachenko a couple years ago. Now it seems like you hear about him, but it's not the same level of aura that it used to carry. But nonetheless, Vasyl Lomachenko is still one of the best to ever do it, and one of the best fighters in the 135-pound division. Of course, his extensive Hall of Fame amateur career, and combine that with his very respectable professional career, and you get Vasyl Lomachenko with great skill, great boxing skills, good boxing IQ. This guy has stood on top for a while, and this is unfamiliar territory for him right now. Now, what I'll say is that Vasyl Lomachenko has fought some very good fighters in this division, including the likes of Jorge Linares, Jose Pedraza, Luke Campbell, Teofimo Lopez, and I guess you can consider Masayoshi Nakatani or Richard Comey in that regard, as Comey did fight for a title twice, I think. Now, is that resume a little bit underwhelming? Sure. It's not like Devin Haney's resume is flying off, eye-popping like that either. But, compared to everybody else in, 135, the level of talent that's down there, it's a little underwhelming, with, Vasyl Lomachenko's resume. Of course, he did add the likes of Guillermo Rigondeaux and Gary Russell Jr. on his resume, but that was at, featherweight. So, Vasyl Lomachenko, one of the best fighters to ever do it, in my opinion. Very good boxing IQ. The footwork, man, that footwork. This guy probably has the best footwork, and for a while had the best footwork in boxing. With all Ukrainian fighters, they all have that signature footwork. They all pay attention to detail. Very good boxing IQ, sneaky good power. Not a knockout puncher like that, but he has sneaky good power, and that's because he throws a lot of combinations from all these weird angles. Angles, man. Angles make Vasyl Lomachenko who he is. He's able to get off the line. He's able to hit you from spots you don't expect to get hit from, and just that speed, that raw speed that he has, it makes everything hurt so much worse. and very good body puncher, by the way. Vasyl Lomachenko, actually one of the best counter punchers and combination punchers in the game as well. I mean, there's not really much to be said about Vasyl Lomachenko besides that hiccup against, Salido and Teofimo Lopez. You really can't pick out a moment where he's been, vulnerable like that. And with the Teofimo Lopez fight, you can argue that Vasyl Lomachenko was coming off an injury in that fight. Regardless, Teofimo Lopez did beat him, and Lomachenko finally showed signs of cracking. Really, I saw, the signs of slowing down when he fought Luke Campbell, but nobody really thought too much of that since Luke Campbell makes a good fight for everybody. I mean, look what he did with Ryan Garcia when he fought him. But ultimately for Loma, I think he's going to have to find a way to neutralize the length and the size advantage that, Devin Haney possesses. With that piston-like jab at Devin Haney, Lomachenko's going to have to find a way to get, into close range so he can rip off those terrifying combinations. I think he's going to have to find a way to cut off the ring, as you do expect Devin Haney to move around a lot. If he's able to do that, I have him, I can see him winning this fight, but he's going to have to be nearly perfect, and he's going to have to find a way to get his head off the line. And, with Devin Haney, who's a very accurate fighter, just like Lomachenko, it's going to be hard. But if he can get his head off the line, cut the ring off, and get into close range, I think he has a very good chance of winning this fight, as Loma still has something in the tank. Now, moving on to the champion, the undisputed 135-pound division champion, the Dream, Devin Haney, 24 years old, an orthodox fighter. He's 5'8", and he has a 71-inch reach advantage. Devin Haney and his studded career has 29 wins, 0 losses, no draws, and has 15 big wins by way of knockout. People forget that he has more knockouts than Vasyl Lomachenko. This guy, what else is there to say about Devin the Dream Haney? One of the best fighters on the planet, one of my favorite fighters on the planet. And Bill Haney, his father, is one of my favorite trainers in the game as well. And the results speak for themselves for Devin Haney, undisputed at 24 years old. People bring up his resume, how his resume isn't the strongest, especially for that division, but you put him in the ring, he's beaten everybody who he's got in front of, despite having that fight in that moment against Linares where he got hurt. There really hasn't been any signs of weakness in Devin Haney's game other than his power. People say his power isn't enough, to carry him to the next level. They don't think, he punches hard enough to beat some of the grand fighters in that division, like a Vasyl Lomachenko, like a Tank, but it hasn't really bothered him so far. I mean, he beat George Kambosos in his last fight pretty easily, and even in the first fight, he beat George Kambosos pretty easily. People forget that George Kambosos was the man who beat the man who beat the man. George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez, and then Devin Haney proceeded to beat George Kambosos twice in Australia. There's really not much you can say about that. There's really not much you can combat, against that. But you can't really, the one thing you really can't deny is the guy's exceptional talent at boxing. This guy defines the sweet science. He is the definition of hit and do not get hit. The jab that he possesses, the speed, the footwork, the way he can keep distance. This guy is a masterful boxer. You can tell he's put a lot of work in the gym. While his power isn't star-studded like a Tank Davis or a Ryan Garcia, he definitely has the better boxing skill, in my opinion. And, I think that's going to make a big difference in this fight, especially with him being the bigger fighter, the longer fighter. For Devin, I think it's just staying composed, doing the things that have made him successful up until this point. There's really not much you can say to critique Devin Haney other than his power, because he does everything else so well. But if I will say one thing, I think he can't come into this fight thinking I have to get a knockout, I have to show people that I can get these star-studded knockouts. No, the ultimate thing is about getting a win I think Devin Haney should do exactly what he does in every fight. Use that jab, use his movement, stay off the ropes, make, Lomachenko miss when Lomachenko gets too close, tie up. Get your own combinations off when you want to get close and then tie up. Use that superb jab. Use your superb boxing skill, and Devin Haney should have no problem winning this fight as he is the bigger man. And that jab is just, there's really not much you can say about his boxing skill. He defines the street science, so I'm definitely pulling for Devin Haney. But let's get straight into the prediction. Of course, I'm pulling for Devin Haney. I think this is going to be a unanimous decision for Devin Haney. While I like Lomachenko, and he's a very good fighter, been a pound for pound fighter, a pound for pound number one fighter, should I say. At 35 years old, 5'7", with a 65-inch reach. I know it hasn't impeded him up until this point, but he hasn't fought a guy like Devin Haney, and vice versa. Devin Haney hasn't fought a guy like Vasyl Lomachenko, but I don't think it really matters. I think Devin Haney will do the same thing he did to George Kambosos, is box him from the outside. When Vasyl gets too close, he'll tie up. And I think he will take advantage of places when he can get his combinations off on the inside. I'm talking about Devin Haney. And then when he's done with those combinations, he'll tie up, reset, get back to boxing, and it's just going to be the same thing all night. I don't think Devin Haney gets a knockout. I do think he struggles at times in this fight, but I personally think he'll win most of the rounds to be able to get a unanimous decision just because he's that good at boxing. And I think he'll be able to outbox Vasyl Lomachenko, as Vasyl will have to push the action. That will lead to Devin Haney fighting off his back foot, and he can do that with the best of them. So I got Devin Haney winning by unanimous decision. I think he will, outbox Vasyl Lomachenko with his long length, his jab, and his movement, and his superb boxing IQ. I think he will cruise to unanimous decision. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who are you guys pulling for? Are you pulling for Vasyl Lomachenko, or are you guys pulling for Devin Haney? Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to see a good fight. I'm definitely pulling for Haney in this fight, but you know what? This is boxing and anything can happen, but I'm definitely pulling for Devin Haney. So leave your comment in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video as it helps the channel grow. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop one of these boxing videos. And it's very important because I will be streaming this fight when it goes live, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified when I go live. Follow me on social media, as we're only 2 days out from the fight. Actually, we're only a day out from the fight, and there's a lot of content that's going to be coming out about it. So follow me on social media. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out. Peace.